Okay, so today I'm going to delve a little bit more into creating a email welcome series in Aweber. I've had a lot of questions, and it can be a little bit confusing. So I know I went through it pretty quickly in the course. So I just wanted to take the time today to go through and really just show you step by step how to create that welcome email series. So where we're going to start today is we're going to assume that you have already signed up for Aweber and that you already have your basic information, your business name, your email, all that's already set, and you're ready to go to create your first welcome series. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, you're going to click up here on Manage Lists. And then once you do that, if you haven't started a list, then you will not see anything here. But since I've already have lists, this is where you can also go through and see all the different lists that you have. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a list. The thing about Aweber is, once you have a basic understanding of it, it does pretty much walk you through what everything that you need to do to set it up. But sometimes just, figuring out where you need to start can sometimes be the hardest part. So we're creating a brand new list here. And more than likely, this information is already going to be pre-filled for you. But you can make this information unique to any specific list. So let's say you're using Aweber for maybe 2 different businesses. You can have business A as your profile settings for your account, and that's what's automatically going to autofill for you. But you might also have another side business that you use a different name for. You can go ahead and you can change that here, and that information is only going to be specific to this list. Same with the website. And then I actually have the exact same email. I'm not sure why I have 2 emails here, but if you have maybe multiple addresses associated with your account, then you could choose what email or what business address that you want to use. If it doesn't show up here, then you just click on use a different address, and then you can input that information right here. We're going to choose this. And then again, you can also change the sender name. So this is what I have pre-filled, but then you can set this to anything. And then you want to make sure that you're using this email address here. I have not verified yet. Not a big deal. It only takes 2 seconds to verify. But you want to make sure that you are using a verified email address. And this is the one that I always use. So I do want to use the email address that is associated with my website. And remember, we talked about that during the course, how important that is. And one of those reasons is for email deliverability. So you definitely want to make sure that you are actually using the email that's associated with your website. All right, so once you got all that figured out, we're going to hit next steps. Okay, now this is going to be the information that you input for your actual list. So list name, only you see this information, the list name, but I like to make sure that my list name, and if I'm creating a web form on my website or within Bloom, the plugin, or I'm selling something and I have a PayPal button, or I have a WooCommerce product, I want to make sure all those names match. And I'll tell you why, because in the beginning you might think, well, I'm only selling one thing. I'm just going to call, this whatever, and maybe it's called something else on your other platforms. Well, once you start to get multiple products that you're selling, you might actually have something that maybe you're selling a 1-week meal plan, and then you're selling a 4-week meal plan, and then you've got your full 365 days a year meal plan. So you want to make sure that when you're going back and forth and that you're marrying all this stuff together, it's so much easier for you to know that you're coupling everything with the right list when everything is the same name. So just a little bit of a tip for you. But here, this is for you. This is strictly for you. Nobody else is going to see this. This down here, however, though, is what your email subscriber will see when they go to unsubscribe from your list. So you want to be descriptive here. Don't be too wordy, but you do want to be descriptive. And in this example, they say healthy, low-fat recipes for every budget sent weekly. Well, maybe they're just cleaning out their email address box or their email box, and they're just deleting stuff. But then when they go to delete this, they're going to be reminded why they signed up for this list. And there's a chance that they may decide not to unsubscribe from you. So make sure that you have, not too wordy, but you at least give them some information about why they signed up in the first place. You have 400 characters, so that's a good couple sentences, if not a good full paragraph for you. So once you fill that in, and I'm just going to call this sample list, and then I'm just going to say sample list here just for simplicity's sake. All right, now we're going to click next. Okay, so next, this is your confirmation message. So when you're first starting out, Aweber has a double opt-in feature. So you can only opt out of that double opt-in. And what that means is a double opt-in. What that means is when you sign up for an email list, then when they sign up for an email list, then an email is sent to them from Aweber asking them to confirm that they want to receive email from you. And then they have to say yes, and then your follow-up email is actually sent. And I'm sure you guys have seen this with other things that you've actually signed up for. Now, the reason that this is a good thing is to make sure that you don't have bots signing up on your website. It generally, a bot's not going to jump through 2 hoops. They might jump through 1, but they're not going to jump through 2. And also just to keep people just signing up for stuff that really have no interest in being on your list. If they really wanted your freebie or your product, then they would go ahead and they would confirm that email. Now, that's the theory behind it. Anytime I'm selling something, I don't want them, they've already paid me. I mean, I don't want them to have to jump through any hoops. So what I do then is I contact Aweber, and it's very easy to do. I just say, hey, on list number, and I'll show you what that means in a minute, but list number, please remove the double opt-in. And then they're going to want to know what is the web page that these people are coming from, because they want to make sure that you're not doing anything shady. And then they want the last 4 digits of your credit card that you use for your billing on Aweber to make sure that somebody else hasn't hacked into your account. So it's really, really simple. You say, can you remove the double opt-in, and then they do it. Now, the only caveat to that is, though, is if you have fewer than, I think, 250, and I'm not 100% sure on that number, but if you have a low number of email subscribers, they're not going to remove that double opt-in for you just yet, because you haven't proved yourself to be a reputable business. So just kind of keep that in mind, but not a biggie. This is where you're going to create that confirmation, that first message that they're going to receive. Choose your language, and then you can choose the way the subject line looks. Now, it's already pre-filled. You can request a custom subject line, but that's one more hoop that they have to jump through that you may not really want to have to go through. So you have a couple different options: response required, confirm your request for information. I usually kind of use these 2 because I am giving them information. When you say subscription, unless you specifically said you're signing up for my email list, a subscription really doesn't cover exactly what you're going to be providing them. So if you're, they're signing up for, I have a couple freebies on my website, 10 website must-haves. and then they sign up for that, and then they've requested information from me. So I want to confirm that you get that information. So I like to use one of these two usually. And then down here, this is the standard pre-filled email opt-in, but you can click to edit it. And what I like to do, okay, so there's some short codes that they use here. This is that list name. That is, I usually take this out because I like to word it a little bit differently, but that is what the name of the list actually is. And more than likely, you haven't named that list for your subscribers. You've named it for yourself so that you know exactly what it is. Like if I have a webinar, I always start out webinar and then confirm, whatever that webinar was. Or if it's a freebie, I start out with, freebie, and then whatever the name of that list is. That way it all is together in my email list, and then I know exactly what it is, because you might have more than one list going that kind of pertains to the same type of information. So I don't want to get too far in the weeds there, but I usually take this out, and I usually go ahead and I personalize this. And the way you would do that is, just start out with your greeting, your salutation, and then you can choose their first name, and that's going to be the short code for their first name. So I like to make this very unique, so that it doesn't look so much like a canned email. So I usually add more information here. I might start out and say, thanks so much for your interest. Can't type and talk at the same time. Interest. So I'm just going to kind of, thanks so much for your interest. Here is, one more step, or, please click the button below to confirm that you want to receive, and then not just email from me, but receive whatever, it was that you told them that you were going to give them. And then, maybe you might want to add a little more information, if you have any questions, I'm always here. Please follow me on Facebook. Whatever that might be that you want to add here, you can add it here. So you got 500 characters. Be very brief, because really this is just to get them to actually confirm. But you do want to kind of, make it personal so it doesn't seem so canned. And then you can actually change what that button says. So confirm my request, my subscription, my email. Usually I choose confirm my request. And then down here, you can put whatever signature you want. Now this is the short code for your company name. But if you want to put something different here, you can take this out, or you could leave it in. I always put my name, and then maybe my company name. So, and then you can preview it and see what it looks like. Now it's not going to show you, it's not going to use the short codes, but that's where it would go. So if this was Sally, it would say, hi Sally, thanks so much for your interest. And then they would click confirm my request. So that would be that for that. And then go ahead and click approve message and create list. Okay, so now it's your list has been created. So we're going to go back down to our manage our lists. And here is our sample list. So we're going to click on sample list. You can also get to that by this little drop down menu here, and either scroll or type it in. But now this is all the basic information, and a lot of this is already going to be filled in from what you put in here, but you can always go and you can change this information if you decide that you wanted to put something else here. So this is the list ID that you would use when you're communicating with Aweber about turning off the double opt-in. Also, if you're using like WordPress eStore uses this list identifier instead of the actual name, and a couple other different platforms use it too. But this is where you would find it. It would be under the, go to your list, and then you would click on list options. So this is the first page of that. So you can go down here, and now you can change any information that you want here. If you also, you can change the name, email address, any of that. But if you want a notification anytime somebody subscribes to this list, now if they've bought something, more than likely you're getting a notification from PayPal or Stripe or WooCommerce. So you probably don't need it here as well. But if this is just a freebie opt-in and you want to receive an email anytime somebody joins that list, you can put your email and your name here. And it's just something that you're going to see. Hopefully you're getting so many people subscribing to your list that this gets annoying and then you can delete it. So you would make sure that, before you move on to the next page, that you click Save All Settings. I'm not going to get into all this information here, but it's a way that you can, personalize your website, personalize your email signature. You can upload your logo and all that good stuff. And then here's your confirmation message. So if you wanted to change the details for the confirmation message, this is where you would go. This is also where you would turn off the send a confirmation message to subscriber imports, which I'm not going to go over today. That's a little more advanced, but you can do that. Or you can turn in the double opt-in for sign-up forms. Now, this only works if you're using the Aweber sign-up forms, which they're okay. I don't love them. That's probably the only thing that I don't like about Aweber are the sign-up forms. They're just not very, I don't know. I feel like once you design something in Divi or you've used the Bloom sign-up form, the Aweber forms are just kind of, I don't know, they look a little bit old and I don't know, outdated to me. But if you wanted to get around doing the double opt-in, that would be an option for you. And then you can also send instead of just having them, sign up for your email form or your opt-in on your website and then they click submit and then it just stays on that original page they were on, you can send them to a custom URL. And that would be good if you're trying to upsell. So let's say somebody wanted information on, the 5 things that you have to have on your website. Well, I could collect their email addresses, and then when they hit submit, then it would take them to, let's say, maybe this course landing page. And maybe, I've created a special discount for them to kind of hook them, say, well, I'm going to, wow, now she's offering me 10% or 15 or 50% off, whatever it is, that now that I'm here, maybe I just want to go ahead and sign up for the course instead of just learning 5 things. I could, get 6 weeks of training. So that's kind of the way you would use that. So then once you hit Save All Settings, now all that is done. And you can always come back to this and make any changes that you want, but that's how you would do it. So now we're going to create our first message. So we would come over to Messages, and we're going to click on Drafts. And then because this is a brand new list, we don't have anything listed here yet. So we're going to click on Create a Message. And I like to use the drag and drop email builder, but you could either choose between this or the plain text. I'm going to say you're probably not going to want to do the HTML editor just because of the course that you're using right now. That's pretty advanced. But you might have something that you got from somebody and you actually have to, it's all just HTML code. This is what you would choose. But more than likely, you're going to be choosing the drag and drop. Okay, so once you've done that, this is what you're going to see. So up here is the subject line that your email subscriber is going to see. And, you can, say welcome. If I'm giving them a download, I always like to, and you can do whatever you want here, but this is what I usually like to do when I'm doing a download. So download, and oops, and welcome. I might make that a little bit more robust, grab their attention. But that's what, this is the email subject line that they see. You can add personal information. So you could welcome them specifically. You can add emojis to kind of, grab their attention. So, this is completely customizable. Now, you can also come over here. So that's what they see in the subject line. But sometimes, depending on what you're using to view your email in, you get that little extra line underneath of it, and it might say, click and save, 50% today, kind of like a little preview. That's where you would put here. So, or, make sure you read this totally awesome email. So that's what you would put here. You don't have to put anything here if you don't want to, but they say that emails that have a message pre-header in them are opened at a higher rate than those that do not. So kind of keep that in mind. And then they've already kind of started it for you here. I mean, you're probably not going to use any of this. One, I always make their font bigger. I usually do a 16 or an 18. And I'm probably just going to make this 18 today so that we can all see it, or specifically me. So again, you can customize it with the first name. If you're collecting names, I always suggest using a first name. And then since this is, the email that you're welcoming them with, I would always say, thanks, again, thanks for your interest in XYZ. And you can either do this a couple ways. You can say, click here for your download. Or what I always like to do is I like to use a button. Oops. I like to add a button. So here you can, click here for download. Or download here. Yep, see, I already used that once. So download here. Here's where you would put the link to your download. And your download is probably going to be in Dropbox or on Google, in your Google Docs folder, and you're going to use a share link. Make sure that you're sharing a PDF, unless you're giving them something that has to be edited, like maybe you're putting together some sort of Excel sheet and they can actually input information into it. But then you need to make sure that it is read only, and that the only way that they can edit it is if they download it and save it to their website, so that they're not making changes to your copy that you're giving out to people. So you would put the URL to wherever that is, your share site, wherever that is here. And you can change the size of the font. You can change the actual font. You can change the text color. You can change the button color. I can't see that, but just kind of giving you an idea. And then you can change where this button is positioned in your email. Okay, so I like to do that. That way, when they open up the email, it is completely, clear to them how do they get their email. And I usually put that close to the top, usually like the sun, I welcome them or I thank them, and then I add that just so that they get that information. And usually on this email, so then after that, then you can add more paragraph text underneath that. So this email, I usually I keep it pretty short because they're probably, chomping at the bit to actually get that freebie or get whatever you promised them. So I don't go into a whole lot here, but I do sort of remind them, about the benefit of this freebie. If they want more information, how to contact me, and then kind of leave it at that. I always, in my signature, I always make sure my web address is there so they can click on it and they can go back to my website, because they're probably not going to remember where it came from, so you want to remind them. But you can add, you can insert videos, you can add, and then here, this would be, let's say, if on YouTube, you can put the URL to your YouTube here, and then all that good stuff. You can insert coupons And these are kind of cute, like, if you want to give them. Now they're not like actual click on the coupon and they're automatically going to get the 25% off. These are just formatted. So, they're not actually interactive with your e-store or your WooCommerce, but you can say, save 25%, give them the date, use coupon code, whatever it is, just to kind of give them some information here. You can also, put share buttons down here. So you can, this is share for Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And then this is, you can turn these on and off. You can change the size of them. Custom URLs. So that way you can, they can share with their people. Now this isn't to find you. This is if you want them to share the information out there. So you might want to do that. You can do a carousel of images. And really, you can do, which a carousel would be like, 2, 3, 4 different images that they click through. Here's your follow me. So if you wanted them to find you on social media, these are your follow me buttons. And then, they only have the 2 here, but you can always add your own in here too. So play around with these. They're really self-explanatory, but you kind of create your message the way you want to create it. So let's say this is looking exactly the way we want it. We are going to, you can preview and test it. So this is what it looks like. If you want to see what it looks like when it comes to you in email, you can put your email address here. This is also a good way. This happens a lot. I have people that are on my list and they're like, hey, Lori, I never got it. Well, maybe they typed in their email address wrong, or maybe it's like lost in the 1 million emails they have in their inbox. But if you want to send an email to somebody again, I always come to the preview and test, and then I can just put in their individual email address and their name, and I can send it to them. And it looks just like they received it the first time. So that's kind of a, just something that you're not going to hear, anywhere else, but that's kind of the way I like to send it, it additionally. So, and if you want to make, let's say I noticed something was wrong, I can click back to the editor, make my change, and then it's always saving for you. Move this out of the way. It's automatically saving for you, but before you exit, I would click Save and Exit. Okay, so here we're still in drafts, so nothing is happening with this email yet. It's in drafts. So you need to decide, what do you want to do with this email? Do you want to send it? And this is for an opt-in, but you might be sending out an email. Maybe you're having a sale tomorrow and you've created an email and you want to let everyone know about it, and you want to let them know at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, you can schedule a broadcast, which you would go to this list, and if you wanted to add on other lists, you could click here and click on Add Other Lists. But you can also decide when you want to send it, day and time, and then it will schedule it to go out at that time. But that's not what we're doing today. We're doing this as a, oops, I'm gonna cancel all this. So we're doing this as, technically this is a follow-up series, but I want you guys to get used to not using the follow-up series, but using campaigns instead. And you're not going to really understand the difference of them quite yet, but as you get more advanced and you have more things that you're promoting and you have more ways that people are opting in, this will all make more sense. But it's just easier to get it going as a campaign from the get-go. Follow-up series is their old way. I don't think they have any plans to get rid of it, but they really want everyone using campaigns. So the way you would do that, we're going to leave this in the drafts, but now we're going to come back up to the message list, and we're going to click on campaigns. All right, well, this is a brand new list, so obviously you don't have a campaign. So we're going to create our very first campaign. And then they kind of have different campaigns already set up. There's really no benefit to choosing one of these. I usually end up having to delete a lot of the stuff anyway, and I want to show you how to do this from a blank campaign. And then if you want to kind of play around and see what's in here, you can do that too. But we're going to choose create a blank campaign. And I'm going to call this welcome series. And we're going to click create. Okay, so since this is the welcome series, we're going to click on welcome to the, what the trigger is, what's going to set this email off. We're going to click on subscribe. So they're not coming from anywhere else. As soon as they subscribe to your email list, this campaign will kick off its very first email. So the next thing so this is how it's going to start. It always starts up here. It's either going to say on subscribe or once a tag has been applied. And I'm not going to go into tags today, but just except for what to do at the end of the series. But it's another way to kick off a campaign. So this is the trigger. First thing we're going to do now. More than likely, you want them to get the email immediately. If not, you could choose wait. But most likely, if they're signing up for a list and they want to receive a free PDF or whatever it is that you're getting them, you want to send it immediately. So you're just going to click on send a message and drag it over here. Okay. Now, we've already created a message. So it's going to be under choose message. This is going to show you what's in your draft folder. See, there's our email that we created. It's in our draft folder. Or let's say you haven't created anything yet. If you click on create a message, it's just going to take you to the draft and to create a new draft that we just did. It's just another way to get back there. But we've already created one. So I'm just going to click on this and I'm going to hit select. And now this is the very first email that I'm sending them. Okay, now in a welcome series, and the best way to nurture your prospective clients or customers is to send them more than one email address. And I always suggest minimum of 3, more than likely 5, but I wouldn't go more than 7. This is just your welcome, okay? So, I have a couple that I do like a 5-day series, and they know they're signing up for a 5-day series. So they're gonna get at least a minimum of 5 emails from me, one every day. Like I have a 5-day Pinterest series. So every day they get a new lesson plan on Pinterest. So after that 5 days is over, then I send them at least 3 more. Does that make sense? So, it's going to be what they've asked for, and then 3 to 5 more email addresses after that. So that's when you're going to put in the wait. Just going to click and drag it. And then over here, you choose the intervals. Now, I would send it the next one to them the very next day. So we're going to wait 1 day. And you can put in any number here, and you can choose minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, okay? But we're going to choose days. And then we're going to send them a new email after, this would be tomorrow, after 1 day, which would be tomorrow. Well, now I don't have anything else in my drafts folder, so I'm going to have to create a message. So I would click on create, and this is the exact same thing. We're going to create a message and drag and drop, and then then we can add it to this list. So let's say, okay, so the very next day, I'm going to send them, usually what I do is, hey, I hope you're loving your blank, whatever it is that you sent them. If you didn't see your email, or you want to look at it again, or you don't know where you saved it, whatever you want to say there, here is the download link again. Just make it easy for them. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I signed up for something, I've read it, I'm like, oh, that's great, but I've been busy or got busy doing something else, and I completely forgot about it. So you're actually, you're getting in front of them again, and you're reminding them, what this great thing is that you're sharing with them. So I do that on the second message, and then I give them a little bit more information, or I give them, an extra little tip. Not selling here, okay? You're still providing value to them. And then, so then you're gonna, send your message, and then you're gonna wait another day, and then you're gonna send them another message, and after and then give them a little bit more value, maybe tell them a story about you, and why you developed this product, and maybe tell them a story about a customer of yours that is using this product, and then what great success she had with it. So this is, kind of giving them a little bit why they need you, or why they need what you're selling. And then we're going to wait another day, and we're going to send them a message. All right, and then again, creating a new message. So now we've got this whole, we've got a whole list here, and we can keep going on and on and on. Okay, now when this series is done, we're going to apply a tag. At the bottom, whoops, leave that up there. So the very last one that we have here is applying a tag, and I'm going to click on tags, and the naming convention that I have for this is, I would say completed, and then whatever this campaign name is, completed welcome series. Okay, and that's all I want you to do, and click enter. When you click enter, it actually creates this little tag here, and that's all I want you to do. We'll talk about in more advanced courses, how to start using these tags to move people from campaign to campaign, because you can have multiple campaigns going. If somebody buys something and a tag is applied, then you can remove tags, but that is way beyond what I wanted to go over today. So we're just going to say, just at the end of your email series, just say completed welcome series, or completed, and then the list name. That's probably the easiest way for you to tag these emails. And then you're going to click save and exit. Okay. No, it doesn't like the fact that I have empty emails. So we're just going to say save and exit. So it's going to tell me issues are found, which obviously we don't be sending blank emails. And then it's not going to let me activate it. But let's say I had all this fixed, then I could click on activate campaign, and then it will obviously be activated. So when this starts kicking off, you will actually be able to see over here how many people this email has been sent to and how many people have opened it. And then you can see that for each of the emails in your series. Let's say you want to see what these emails are. That's campaign stats. If you click over here on campaign messages, now you'll be able to go in here. You can either copy this to your drafts, you could copy it to another list, or if you clicked on here, it'll take you to where you can edit it. So I hope that helps you guys. That's how to set up a welcome email series. And then, if you, it would work pretty much the same way for any email series that you're creating, but I just wanted to spend a little bit more time today, since I know a couple of you did have some extra questions on how to go about doing that. So hope you found that helpful. All right, real quick before I let you guys go, I just wanted to let you know that Aweber has actually changed their pricing plan, and their beginner plan up to 500 subscribers is now free. So that's great for you guys. You won't have to incur an additional expense when you're just starting out. And I like to try to find you guys some free options as opposed to having to pay for all this stuff. So that's up to 500 subscribers. You get the full functionality of Aweber, and you don't have to pay a dime. And then after that, it's $16.15 a month. So I think that's a great deal for you guys. I think you'll love Aweber. I've tried a bunch of different platforms, and I find this one does everything that I want it to do, and is by far the easiest to learn how to use. So the link will be within this module. So go ahead and click on that and get started. If you guys have any questions while you're putting together your first welcome series email, please let me know. I'm always here to help you. This lesson was just one lesson plan within 6 modules of my brand new course, Building Your Business Online, the Tech Side 101. If you'd like more information, please visit www.thefitfilledlife.com/taking-it-online. This course is designed for those that are just getting started and don't know where to start. It's a 6-module course. We start with getting a domain name and setting up your hosting. We delve into the design aspects pretty heavily on how to build a website, what components you need to make a good website. But then we also, starting in module 3, we start talking about how to integrate email and opt-ins, and how to set up an autoresponder, just like we talked about today. We also talk about how to use social media and to market and to promote your website. And then we spend a good deal of time on talking on actually how to organize your business and what components that you actually need in order to be able to run it successfully, but without having to spend a lot of money. So if you'd like some more information and you want more details on this wonderful course, I've already run it 2 times, like I said, and I'm getting great reviews from it. And I think it's something that I've been doing for a while now individually with my clients, and this is just a more affordable way for me to be able to reach more people. So please take a look at it. If you have any questions, I'm always here to answer those. Have a great day.